Here we are. I hope that this is all working as usual today. Sorry I'm running late. It's the first Monday in March, unless I'm mistaken. Yes. February felt like a long month. Uh, Winter is holding on with everything it's got here in Spokane. Um, we have concluded our discussion of the original Mother, eventually released as EarthBound Beginnings. We have talked about Mother 2, also known as EarthBound. And EarthBound Beginnings even had another version before that, EarthBound Zero. Uh, we in the US, that is, outside Japan, mostly know about the series known as Mother in the form of EarthBound. And that's where I take the title for this series of discussions, Middle Earth to EarthBound, a look at the ways in which fantasy literature connects with classic video games. These games are well worth playing. They are not just something there to talk about, just in the way that these books are not meant to just be fodder for internet discussion or, for that matter, material to draw movies and new series from. Uh, they are well worth exploring in their original form or as close to it as we can get. And of course, unless you speak Japanese and are able to read it really pretty well, most likely you're going to do that through an English translation of these games. We also talked about Mother 3, and this one was never officially released outside Japan. That's why they kept that title, Mother 3. And by they, of course, I mean the translation team and localization team headed by, I hesitate to call them this, but the name they go by online is Tomato. I believe that this person's real name is Clyde Mandelin, and I have reason to believe that they are in fact not a tomato, but a person who's pretty interested in old video games and knows a lot more about them than I do, that's for sure. So I thought that since I want to keep talking about EarthBound, ultimately, it's my favorite game, the way that we could do this, having run through the entire series at this point, would be by continuing with a game that is very influenced by EarthBound, although not officially part of the series. And this game is, of course, Undertale, hence the uh, hence the rest of my description for today's episode, talking about our discussion of Undertale and doing so through a book that has just been released. I don't know if I was an early adopter of this book or if they maybe just didn't do a great job marketing this one. Um, on the website where I ordered this, it says it's not even supposed to be available till mid-March, and here we are. And this book arrived days ago. This is The Legends of Localization, Book 3 about Undertale. Here it is. Check it out. It's got these fancy little sleeves, just like all the other books in the series. And I'm going to just read you a little bit from this book today as a way to get into our discussion of Undertale. But I got to say, it also comes with some pretty cool stickers and things. I know it's a little hard to see because of the light coming in through my window. This wintry, cold light here as it tries to snow flurry still some more. Oh boy. All right. So I'll take away the background. Let's get rid of that. Let's go to oh yeah, there we are. We're streaming. Here we go. So this is the website of Clyde Mandelin, also known as Tomato. And sure enough, it's called Legends of Localization. Um, the process of taking a game from its original language and putting it into a new language is, strictly speaking, localizing the game, not just translating it. And if you read anything, any of the other books by Clyde Mandelin, and if you read through all of his posts here, he's pretty emphatic about that. The process involves much more than just a language change, is what it comes down to. For a game to be rendered into a new language also means that it has to come into a new cultural context. You have to think about all the little things that have to change besides just the font in order to make it possible to render a totally different alphabet in the case of text, or a totally different spoken language once you have a lot more voice acting in more modern games. And this process is something that has grown up with those of us old enough to remember when these games came out. EarthBound has a famously enjoyable and engaging, good, in short, translation and localization team associated with it. Other games, not so much. And Clyde Mandelin has made a bit of uh, uh, a career out of studying and popularizing some of the funny and interesting things that you find when you start looking into how games go from a Japanese original to an English localization. So there's a post in here from March 19, 2018. It's about 5 years ago. And I believe this is really the only place on the website where there's um, there's any information about the interest in Undertale, which is a little surprising to me. Um, and in this, it's not the first or second. You got some um, Adventure of Link translation notes, a Banshee's Last Cry. All right, I haven't even heard of that game. And then the third in this little post comes the Japanese Undertale reception. So one of the things that, as the sort of authority on all things localization, Tomato Clyde gets talked to about, gets asked about, is what happens when, as is pretty unusual actually, uh, at least it was at that time, as when a originally English text game gets translated into Japanese. So normally these role-playing games come from Japan into the US and other markets. They're translated from Japanese into English. In this case, Undertale, while inspired by EarthBound, as we'll see, um, is of course created originally in English by Toby Fox. And so what happens when this game gets translated back into Japanese, so to speak? So there's some fun images here. Um, there's some fine performances of Undertale music and commentary about what's going on here. There was a bigger concert, and Tomato Smiling tells us that he actually played a small part in the game's Japanese localization. Oh, there's more info here. Cool. Let's click there. So he is, in this case, showing us a bit of his handiwork. As he says, he's got the inside stuff. But again, this is nested in a longer update. Oh, wow. There's a Super Mario Brothers book that he's been working on. So just a very busy guy. But like I say, nowhere on the site does it actually say that they finished this book. To find out about it, you've got to go to this other company that he's associated with. Again, the Fan Gamer company. Big deal now, but actually grew out of connections and friendships and things that developed around the EarthBound fandom back in the old days. Some of those folks got together, created this company that now does a lot of official and semi-official merchandise, um, and they, I'm shy, but I'm not too shy to admit that I spent that full $40 on a hardcover book. I guess that's just the world we live in now. But it's a very beautiful book. I mean, look at these images. You can look at these for yourself. I want to promote this in whatever small way I can, whoever I might be reaching with this stream. And I apologize, I don't have the Twitch dashboard open. I guess I should really open that. Let me see if I can do that real quick. What's it called? The dashboard? No, it's not showing up for that. Um, ah, I can't remember what the thing is even called right now. Oh, the stream manager, that's it. Stream manager. Why won't that show up? Oh gosh. I must be in the wrong one. Let me go back to the other one here. Stream manager. Yeah, there, I bookmarked it. Okay. It is called dashboard. Um, so just in case there's anybody out there watching live and you've got questions and comments, here we go. The chat room. You can, oh, there we go. Oh, for once there's too many comments. The Nerdly Wisdom post started right when I did about 10 minutes ago. Lots of tomatoes. This fills you with determination. Oh, great. Karakum, hello, dear. I guess that's meant for Nerdly Wisdom, or maybe me. Either way, hello. Um, yeah, the fonts, right. Papyrus and Comic Sans. Of course, these are crucial elements of the game. So we'll see. Oh, okay. There's a bot that had to stop somebody from posting a link in the chat. Maybe you were trying to help us out. Yeah, so you want me to play the game. I'm not that kind of streamer. I'm very sorry to say, Karakum. I don't actually play the games on this channel, and I think I might have played a game like once or twice on the other channel that I have for my personal um, projects and things. As you may know, all these games are still, under copyright. And so while that's totally a thing, like people playing games on Twitch and stuff, it's not a thing that I do, and it's not a thing that I feel comfortable doing. I just really want to be careful